Hi guys, I'm Darren, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the RadioMaster Zorro Special Edition. So how about we jump straight into this video and get to the interesting stuff, which is what's in the box. So yeah, this is just a cardboard box. This is how it came. I got this shipped to me from Banggood. They provided this for review. So let's take a look. Right. So what we get inside the box is a manual. It's got some basic setup instructions, the specifications, your switch positions. So there's not really a lot in this manual. There's certainly not how to use EdgeTX. So while we're here, let's take a quick look at some of the specs. It's got the weight is 350 grams. This is the ELRS version. They're all operating on the 2.4 band. It's got the maximum RF power of 20 dBm for the standard 2.4 or 24 dBm for ELRS. The input voltage is 6.6 to 8.4 volts. You need to use some small lithium ion batteries for that, which we'll get onto in a sec. It comes shipped with EdgeTX. There's a maximum of 16 channels depending on the system. It has got USB-C charging, so you can charge with the batteries in the radio, and it has got a nano size or JR Lite size bay. Right, so the batteries, let's get on to those. These are 18350s and they do not come with the radio. So these are tiny little batteries, and this is just a 1 amp hour battery. For perspective, here's an 18650, so they're almost twice as long. So yeah, just almost twice as long, but these have got 3 amp hours in, these have got 1 amp hour in. So let's actually get on to the radio. So boring stuff in the box. We actually get a USB-C cable, and it seems reasonably thick, so not bad. And we get a little strap. I'll come back to these. We actually get a proper screen protector. So we take off the temporary one and put a proper screen protector on. And that's just past the safety sticker. So let's grab the radio out. And while we're on the subject of these straps, if you notice on the bottom there's these 2 hooks. That's so you can actually put an 18650 pack on here and hook it on if you wanted to extend it. And there's a balance cable there. So you could put a 2S 18650, Velcro it onto the bottom, put the balance cable in there, and it will run the radio. So you can get a bit more life out of it. So this is the Special Edition Zorro, and what makes it Special Edition is the case material basically. Everything else seems to be about the same, but the Special Edition comes in about 5 different colours. Once they're sold out, they're sold out. So this, I went for the clear option, but there's a pink, there's I think a yellow and a green, and another colour. But I went for the clear option, and as I said, I went for the ELRS version because I'll probably be using this with my quads. Now in the hands, it actually feels quite nice. It's compact, but you don't feel like it's too flimsy here. The gimbals are a nice size. Now these are plastic, but they are Hall effect. So they're not going to be as good as a full metal CNC Hall effect gimbal, but that you've got the longevity of it. But you just need to be careful when you calibrate not to go too hard to the edges because you can distort it. And there are some little adjusters here, which I'm guessing is for the spring tension. While on the front, we've got our basic menu here. So we've got page forward, backwards, return, system. We have our model button here, and we have our telemetry button here. That doesn't want to stay in. Here we have our jog wheel, which is clickable, so that's how we access the menu. We have our power button, and we have trims for pitch, throttle, yaw, and roll. And that's of course if you're set up for mode 2. But yeah, so that's the front of the radio. On the top we have our switches, so we have 2 positions at the back, we have 3 positions at the front, we have a pair of sliders, and we have 2 momentary switches. And there's another 2 momentary switches on the back. On the top, we have SD card slot, which is populated. We have a headphone. It's a shame there's no markings on here to say which is which. One of these is a headphone jack, the other is a trainer port, and we have a USB-C. Now there's also a USB-C on the bottom, so I'm guessing one of them is for charging, the other one is to connect to the computer. Yeah, so the charge port is on the bottom and there's the regular USB-C on the top. So the headphone jack is on the right and the trainer is on the left. But that's so far my only thing I'm not too keen on. It would be nice if they actually put like a trainer or a headphone symbol above the ports, because those two ports look identical and it's going to be easy to forget what they do. On the back here we have the cover for the light JR bay, and then we have these covers for the battery. Now this is the one thing I'm not overly keen on how these things feel. They're slightly rubberized, but I don't know, they just don't feel too nice. So let's get these off. So one came off easy, the other one was a pain. And let's stick the batteries in. Which are too tight. Right, so despite my 18350s not actually fitting in the radio, which is made for 18350 batteries, I've managed to get it powered up using a 2-cell. Let's take a look at what we can do. So this is of course running EdgeTX. So it's going to be pretty similar to most systems. I'm not going to go through how to use EdgeTX or OpenTX. I've got some videos on how to do that. But what I am going to do is go through and change a few things. So the clock's wrong. Right, so I've just set the clock and everything. Let's do a hardware calibration of our sticks. So what we need to do is center the sticks, center the gimbals. So I'm guessing it's about that point there. So let's press enter to start. Now it says to put it in the midpoints. Let's click enter. Now this is what I was talking about with the plastic gimbals. We want to make sure that we do really light movements, just one direction, and go until you get resistance. So it just touched the plastic there. We're just going to touch it at the bottom, and the same with left and right. When we're doing it gently like this, it means that we're not going to be bashing into the plastic, which will over calibrate, which means you might not get 100% of the movement unless you really force it in there. So that's those, and now we do the same with the sliders. And we'll click enter. So now we can just test it. And it's all good. Seems like their demo, they've got some annoying beep thing going on in logic conditions or special functions. Right, so it says enter to start. We've just done it, so let's return out. So calibration's done. So ADC filter, I believe you can turn this on and off with per model with EdgeTX, but I'm going to be using this with quads, so I'm going to turn it off all the time. And let's see what else. And now we're at the version page. We've got nothing else connected, so we're on EdgeTX 2.7.0. I think that's the latest version. So let's return out. So there's just a brief overview of EdgeTX working. I've turned the screen right down. Apologies for the flickering. There's nothing I can really do about that. But we can see just the basic stuff on the radio is working. What I will do is set up a few models, so I'll set my quads up with EdgeTX and take it out and actually fly it. So actually there's one thing I did forget to mention, which is actually really cool, and that's this antenna. So there is an internal antenna, but you can actually open it out and fold it up. So you've got the internal module, but you have still got a nice antenna that you can position in the right axis. So that's actually really cool. I like that. And it folds away quite neatly. We do have a battery strap. I mean, at the moment there's no batteries in there, but that's pretty neutral balance. Probably a little bit more weight this side once the batteries are in, but it's going to be pretty nicely balanced. And overall it does feel quite nice. So at this point in time, I keep noticing these things keep falling out. This battery door keeps falling out. So it's not the best quality radio, but it will do a job. And if you're willing to put up with these little annoyances for the price, then it's probably pretty good. But I will take this out and fly it. I'll get ELRS set up on it. I'll make a few videos on how to update the radio, how to update the ELRS. And yeah, let's see how this thing flies. But at the moment, for the money, it's pretty decent. It's not going to be the same quality you get from more expensive radios. It's just the way it works. But yeah, I don't think I would use this for fixed wing personally. There's just not enough human interfaces. There's not enough switches to actually make this worthwhile for a lot of my fixed wings. If you've got a very basic fixed wing, then sure, you could probably get away with it. You'd probably need to use both of these for flight modes. You'd have an arming switch, and you'd probably have to do some sort of programming to make these buttons actually do something useful. The sliders, I think, are a bit too slack, and there is no middle detent, so they're really not useful for pan and tilt or climbing modes, anything like that. I think for quadcopters, maybe a couple of line of sight planes where you don't really need a lot of channels, then this probably would work quite well, especially the size of it going in a backpack. Couple of downsides: it doesn't come with a strap, it doesn't come with a case. So if there's something that you want for your radio, you'll have to source those elsewhere. But overall, it's quite nice, it's quite light. I just wish my batteries fitted. So yeah, I'm going to have to modify something in the radio to make them fit. I'm not going to spend out on more batteries when I've bought 4 of these. But anyway, that's my first look at the RadioMaster Zorro Special Edition. I'll put a link where you can get this in the video description. As I say, the colours are limited, and just first come, first serve for the colours. I believe on some sites the clear has already sold out. But I hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And remember to click the subscribe and bell icon. That will help get this video out to more people. But also you'll get alerts when any follow-up videos come out, and there's probably other stuff on the channel that you'll find interesting. So if you do watch, thank you. See you on the next one. Fly models like you stole them. Bye bye.